Now, you've got a show coming up, The Wind in the Willows, and I guess there's so much costuming in this that if somebody's really shy, you can bury him in a mole costume or something. They don't have to be seen, do they?
I suppose we could manage that, Yeah. I'm really excited about this play. Did you ever read the book, Mary?
Yes, I did. And you did part one a couple of years ago, right?
Oh, no. That's different, but people do sometimes associate it. Years ago, when my first musical here in this position anyway was A Year with Frog and Toad.
A Year with Frog and Toad.
Yeah, and that's based on a series of books called Frog and Toad. Well, The Wind in the Willows is different. This was written in the early 1900s, but it features the character Toad, but not the same Toad, and Mole and Rat and Badger. And so Toad is really into modern transportation. And so you'll see him rowing a boat, and then he gives that up for a horse and wagon, and then he gives that up. And the big thing is he steals a motor car. And then he crashes the car, gets thrown into jail, and then it's his escapades of how he escapes from jail and dresses up as a woman, and then he's on a barge, and just chaos ensues, and how his friends try to rein him in. And ultimately, it's about trying to be true to oneself and acknowledging your friends.
Okay, well, I wasn't paying enough attention to my children's literature. So The Year with Frog and Toad is a completely different story than Mr. Toad's Wild Adventure.
It is, yeah. Okay. But so people might know the story because of the Disney video. There was a cartoon made of The Wind in the Willows, and then there was a very famous ride. I think it's still in Disneyland, but they retired in Disney World, called Mr. Toad's Wild Ride. So that's Mr. Toad of The Wind in the Willows.
I think I read The Wind in the Willows, and I think I read those other Toad books too. So it's hard for me to keep all my frogs and toads separate.
Absolutely. But this is a really charming story, and I'm really pleased with this adaptation. It's kind of done in flashback, where Toad Hall is abandoned and decrepit, and the weasels are trying to sell it off to the audience. The audience can buy Toad Hall, and then these characters, Mole, Rat, Badger, Toad, reappear, and they're like, this place seems familiar to us. And then they start recalling how they all met and how Toad Hall came to be what it is.
Okay, so this production, The Wind in the Willows, Mr. Toad's, is it Mr. Toad's Wild? What is the name of the show?
The name of the show is The Wind in the Willows, and that's the name of the book. Kenneth
Okay.
Graham. It was published, I think, in 1904 or early 1900s.
Okay, so The Wind in the Willows will be on stage at QCT when?
In mid-October, October 15th through the 20th, we plan to do a couple shows just for schools during the day, and then we have our public shows Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. But we have auditions next week,
Yes.
Monday and Tuesday, and we have auditions available for grades 3 through 12. So as young as third grade all the way through senior in high school can come on audition for this. And these roles are so fun. Now, you mentioned Wizard of Oz. If a child auditions, chances are, you're going to be a munchkin. You're on stage for 10 minutes. Thank you. Goodbye. But Wind in the Willows, my goodness, you're going to be on stage for probably the whole show, and you'll just get a lot more acting experience. Lenny gave me permission to say that, by the way, so I'm not denouncing The Wizard of Oz, which is my favorite movie.
Well, but you're right. I mean, the Munchkins are just at a small portion of The Wizard of Oz. I mean, it's a great place to start, and I know a lot of people who are adults in the show may bring their small children, and they'll be Munchkins and be backstage with mom and pop when they're not on stage. But auditioning, it scares people. So if folks out there are listening right now, school's going to be back in session here pretty quick. There's some kids at home listening right now. Their parents and grandparents are listening right now. And I will say this, the audition process is the scariest part of being in a show. Because once you get the part and Brandon works with you, people don't see your work until it's fully perfected, 6 to 8 weeks later. So it is hard to do the audition.
Yeah, it's hard, but I don't want people to be scared of it either, because I think sometimes people think it's going to be like American Idol, dare I say, and we'd sit behind a table and then we just judge you and throw things at you. And it's not that. Actually, we do work with you during the audition. So we want to see what choices you're going to make. And the number one thing I say for an audition is you just have to make a strong choice. You have to remember there might be 100 other people auditioning. What are you going to do that's going to set you apart from everyone else? You have to make a strong choice. And then we'll see, okay, you made that choice. Can you take direction? Can you try something else? If it's a musical, we ask that you come prepared to sing. There you get to show us how you can come prepared, saying, I took the work seriously. I memorized this song. It's a good song choice for me. Let me show you what I have. And then we can say, okay, great. Now here, read this scene and let's work with you on it and see what you can do with it. Wind in the Willows is not a musical. There, though, you get to read the script ahead of time. We have it available in our office. You can read it in the comfort of your own home, online if you want. It's on our website. You know, the more prepared you are, the more comfortable you are. Then we just want to see, what are you going to do with these characters? Can you make some choices?
Well, I want to give a plug-in for Brandon Thompson, my guest today, because you are first and foremost a teacher. I mean, you're an actor, and we've seen you on the stage, and you're very good at that. But what you primarily do and what you love to do is take young actors and actresses and improve on their skills, starting from a 0 level all the way up to people who are advanced, and you're just tweaking their final creative talent. And you are gentle and kind with these kids. It is not, I didn't really like that. You didn't do it right. That was a bad song choice for you. You're not going to hear any of that in an audition at QCT. You're going to help them. Let's try this again, or let's try it this way, or can you do this?
Right.
Do you feel comfortable doing that?
The main thing, I think, a director's number one job really is to create the environment where the actor feels comfortable to fail, so that I can make any choice, I can put myself out there, and I'll land on my face. So what? The director's right there to pick me up and say, hey, you made the choice, and because you made that choice, it opened my eyes to this. What about now this choice? Or that gave me this idea. Let's go with that. And it will encourage another actor to make choices as well. And pretty soon then we're all just sharing. And that's what I love the most about the theater is collaboration. We're all sharing our ideas.
The auditions for The Wind in the Willows are next week, August 26th and 27th. They ask that you call and make an appointment. Yeah. They'll be in the evening hours.
Yeah, 4 o'clock on every 45 minutes or so. That way your time's not wasted. I'm in, I'm out, and you know what's expected of you.
And so go to the script is online. You can call the theater. And then the other thing is you've got classes. Now, not everybody's going to be ready to go to an audition. But the first thing their parents can do is take them to The Wind in the Willows and then take them to an acting class